All right, all right, all right.
Cool.
Sorry about that, guys. Just bear with us. We're going to keep it going. We want to keep it rolling. Go ahead.
Hey guys, look, listen, if you're still on here, congratulations, right? You're hired. And this is what I mean. I actually, not going nowhere, right?
Awesome.
Okay, cool,
Thank
awesome.
you, Shaquan.
And look, Saquon, that's awesome, by the way. Look, listen,
Go ahead.
Look, yeah, so you're hired, right? And here's the reason why. Look, I heard a story a while back, right? And it was about this guy who was looking to hire people, right? And he brought a whole bunch of people, right? And he was trying to see what type of people will qualify for this position. Now, it was a Friday night, and the meeting went on for a really, really long time, right? And, people, they're in New York, some of these people have a lot of money, and they want to enjoy themselves. They're young, so they went out and they partied like crazy, right? They got back home really, really late. And when they finally got back, right, they had to get into another meeting that was really early. And that meeting started early, so they went there. When they went there, this guy, they were waiting for the guy to come in, 9 o'clock stop by, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, and then all of a sudden people started fading out, right? All of a sudden people started leaving, right? And then it came down to the nitty-gritty, right? And when it came down to the nitty-gritty, there was only one person left, right? And that person stood there until the guy came. The guy comes in, and he says, all the people who left, they're fired, and you're hired.
Wow.
Right? Because the boss intentionally did that on purpose to test that person's character, right? And to see if he really wanted it. So by you staying on here, even though we're having difficulty problems, right, and challenges, it just goes to show, not only to us, right, but congratulations to yourself for really sticking out through this internet connection.
Absolutely, because that means you're going to get the exact information that you need. You're here and you're hungry. I can tell it because you're saying, I'm not leaving till I get what I need. And that's awesome. And that's what we're going to provide you. We're going to give you exactly what you need.
So going back to that story, right, with my wife's father-in-law.
Father.
I'm sorry, father, right?
His father-in-law.
My father-in-law, right? When we started, we actually used to run a martial arts school together, right? And in the process of doing, one of the first people that I came in contact with as a leader and somebody who was really influential was her father. So I immediately started looking up to him, right? Kind of like some of you guys get into business and you automatically look at the guy who's getting results, which is awesome, which is great, right? And that's what I did. I wanted to be like him because I said, if I can be like him, that means I can get the exact same things that he has, right? So anyways, I started picking up a lot of his gestures, and I really started picking up some of the behaviors, and I was intentionally studying how he responds to people, how he takes care of things, right? And all of a sudden, one day, right, I was teaching kickboxing class, and her father was, he was strong, man. He was a strong leader. He came at you hard, man. He came at you hard. But here's the thing: he would get away with these things, right? He would do some crazy things. I mean, that honest to God, people will probably just cut your head off, cut your arms off, put you in a body bag, and throw you in the ocean. But he would get away with these things, right? So one day, one of my students comes in late, right? And all of a sudden, I put her on the spot in front of everybody. Mind you, I'm like 19 years old or 20 years old, and I look like I'm 15 years old, which makes the things even worse, right? Now, that's not who I really am. I just didn't know what my personality type was. I was just trying to mimic. I was trying to be like somebody who's getting results, just like some of you guys may be doing, right? So I was like, hey, you're late. You're late. And next time you come in late, I'm not letting you in this class. You hear me? Maybe not that exaggerated, right?
I think it was worse.
Yeah. Well, anyways, the student did not like it at all, and she like stopped talking to me. She came up to my wife and she's like, "What's wrong with him? He's like, what's who does he think?"
They just didn't respond to the way that they would have if it were my father.
Yeah, they didn't take it well, and I didn't understand it because if it was him, they would have took it well,
right?
And they would have said, "Thank you for actually yelling at me."
So what does that mean, right? What does that mean? See, Paulo is made up of a different genes, different fiber. He's just a different person, period. So what may have worked for him doesn't work for Paulo. And same thing with you. What may work for your upline or the people you're trying to mimic just may not work for you. So you need to understand who you are and your personality, and then you can build off of that. So let's get right back to the presentation now. I love that story when he shares it because it's just so funny.
And there's been multiple times I've done other stuff.
Yeah. All right, so this is a big problem, right? This is like asking a harp to sound like a drum. All right, this is serious. It's really serious. A harp is just not built to play the sound of a drum.
A harp was me. That's what I am. I'm a harp, right?
And a drum is just not built to sound like a harp. It's just not. So you need to understand who are you and how are you supposed to come across, because the way that the drum sounds, you need to understand maybe that's not you, okay? And are you a harp? You know, now that's not the personality types we're talking about. I'm just giving you, you know, a cute little example. So problem number 2, you don't know how to recognize personality types. And because you don't know how to recognize personality types, this means you don't know how to what? You don't know how to treat every prospect. I mean, you're starting to treat every prospect the same and expecting them all to say yes. That's like going to this person saying the same script, going to this person saying the same script, responding to the objections the same way, and all expecting the same yes. That's wrong. Why? Because when you understand personality types, you know how to talk to personality types. People just don't receive things the way somebody else would. So you might need to talk lower. You might need to add more adjectives, right? You might need to have more reasoning. You know, whatever it is. And some people just don't need reasoning. They just want to hear the facts, right? They just want to know what to do and let's do it. So it all depends, but you're going to learn exactly that. So what does this mean? This means you won't be asking harps to play like drums. That's what that means.
I like that.
You know, so the first one, you won't be the harp trying to act like a drum. And the second problem is that you won't ask people who are harps to sound like a drum. And hey, drummers, if you're a drum, you know, you got to be the drum. Don't be the harp either. So this is what's going to happen. Okay, tonight, this is what we're going to be showing you. We're going to be showing you different personality types. We're going to show you the skill sets that you need to learn for business based on your personality type. Man, if any of this stuff is exciting you, I need you to start putting this in the comments. Okay, because what's about to happen is that you're basically going to learn what you need to know to make you rich. That's what's going to happen. And how can you start learning those skills is what we're going to show you. We're going to show you how you can start learning those skills. And we're also going to show you where you can learn how to talk to different personality types. We're gonna lead you in the sources that teach you all these things, guys. Now, in the next section that we're about to get into, when I start going over the different personality types, I want you to tell me what you think you are. So, for example, we're going to get to it in a minute. Here's what's going to make you rich, right? You have skills, talent, passion, and what you do well. Now, if any of these things do not correlate to the business opportunity that you're in, you're probably promoting the wrong thing, because it's just not going to be genuine. Okay? Now, the good thing about Power Quantum is that it allows opportunity for our skills, talent, passion, and what we do well all under the same umbrella. So it's not like, you know, only 2 of those arrows fit under our business. You know, all of these arrows. So you want to see, you know, what arrows fit under your business. If it's all of them, that's awesome. If it's 1 or 2 of them, that's still pretty good. Okay? So here's where your success lies. Knowing who you are.
Understanding how you think.
Knowing what drives you.
Understanding your strength.
Focusing on what works for you.
Man, this person's really trying to get in.